on the one side, and something maybe that we'll have a chance to talk about in the future a little bit, is the not so much what the Indian state thinks, but some comparison of what the people can engage with, especially people dealing with term two of Trump, compared to how people dealt with term two of Modi in India. Which I know this is a bit of a tangent, not directly answer to your question, but it's something that I've been thinking about, particularly in light of what the Washington Post did the week before the election, in choosing not to endorse and so on. We saw institutions fall in this way in the years leading up, particularly media, and then eventually bureaucratic institutions in the years leading up to Modi coming to power for the first time. And I think it's interesting to think of India as a vanguard here. We're used to thinking of the West taking the lead and India having to follow, but here, I think you guys can look to us to engage with what might be coming. On the official side, yes, it's true. India is one of those few places that is not jittery, despite being friendly with America. I mean, it's the allies who are most jittery, for the US, and India is not a treaty ally, never will be, but has been growing closer. Um, you said that maybe Kamala would be best on policy. That this is always a complex thing. Indians have always preferred Republican governments, partly because the Democratic Party, and Democratic administrations have tended to be closer to Pakistan, for a few different reasons. But then, as you mentioned, there's a belief that India support is pretty bipartisan in DC at the moment, and so then it's a matter of haggling between who's going to lecture you more about human rights or democratic backsliding. And there's a clear sense that Trump will do a lot less of that. That said, um, India's at a delicate moment with its economic journey, and a tariff war, a trade war, will I mean, all despite all the bonhomie between Modi and Trump, there was what was called a mini trade war, between India and the US at the time, and that could really hit India hard. And so they're going to do as much as they can to flatter Trump. They're well positioned to do so. I think Trump, Modi was not as quick as Netanyahu, who has his own things to get done with the White House, with Mar-a-Lago. But yeah, I think that's one of those friends of the US is not going to be so jittery going into Trump 2.0.